Good morning, everyone. My apologies if I sound hoarse. I'm not feeling that well today. I have some amendments to the agenda before we approve it. I'd like to take off the tax for the write-off for taxes. That's going to be tabled for another discussion. And to make an addition to the agenda is recommendation for the water utilities. It's a recommendation to allocate an additional $5,000 in professional fees to initiate a water rate study with the process to begin this fall. A recommendation to approve Victoria County Water Utilities operating budget for fiscal 2025-26 with revenues of $1,272,248,000 and expenses of $1,267,622, and recommendation to approve Victoria County Water Utilities 5-year capital budget for fiscal 2025-26 of $460,000. That's so you have the agenda in. Oh yes, sorry. We need a motion for the approval of the recommendations. And then the recommendation. That's what. They're on no change there. Yep, no to changes. We're going to do the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion? So moved by Councillor Donovan. With the addition. With the addition, yes. And second by Councillor Hennick. All in favor? Motion carried. Yes. A note to that Councillor Patterson has left. He's not feeling well today, so he sends his regrets. Approval of the May 5th, 2025 council minutes. You read them all. Are there any errors or omissions? And can I get a motion to approve those minutes? It's moved by Councillor Kerr, second by.
I'll second.
Councillor Bourne, all in favor? Motion carried. Communications and social media policies. Natasha, come forward, please.
Thing on? Just kidding. Okay, so I'm not going to give a presentation today because we have already talked about it, the plan and the policy 3 weeks ago. So I've given all of you time to kind of come to me with any feedback that you had in terms of like the actual content of the plan. And after our discussion at the last council meeting, I have changed a couple of things. So I softened the language in the social media policy just to clarify that the role and the discretion falls to me as the manager of communications under Leanne's direction to like provide her with that with a suggestion or recommendation around any sort of activity, and then Leanne would make the decision. And so it just removes you folks from that decision-making process and also like lines up what is administrative versus where council comes in. I added a section around best practices for media interviews because I think since our last conversation, several of you have reached out to me that you had been reached out to by whether it be CBC or like CTV. There's been a couple different stories. So you folks have discretion to take these interviews at the way you wish. And if you want to do them, you can. If you want to say no, that's also okay. But just purely from a place of like media monitoring on our part, it would be awesome if you could just give us a heads up that you have been reached out to. And also sometimes there's just context that we may know of that you might not know. So for example, Councillor Bourne last week had an interview request, And we didn't thank you for letting us know because we obviously uncovered quite a bit from where that request was, and just had extra context that we were able to provide to help better prepare her, or at least give her the context she needed to know whether or not she wanted to move forward with the interview. So just letting me know so that I can help you and make sure that you have what you need to be successful in the interview is really important, and it only reflects better on the county as a whole. And in the event that the counselor, this best practice that I've included, in the event that the counselor for the area is unable to do the interview, we asked that the next person to be offered that interview would be the warden. And if the warden is not available to do the interview, then it should come back to us at the administrative level, and then we can kind of talk it out rather than, and I mean, again, like, you folks can do what you want in that way, but it just, I think, is a best practice to make sure that the messaging that is being put out there is consistent. The other element that we touched on was just clarifying the roles and responsibilities throughout. And then I also better addressed some of the accessibility information as it related to use of plain language, and just generally keeping things accessible for the varying needs that we would have in the county. And this will also be aligned with the idea plan that was approved. So those are kind of the changes that were made. And now we just want to start being able to move forward with this plan and start implementing some of the strategies that we've outlined. One of those things being launching the Engage website, which we're hoping to do in the next 2 weeks. And so I am just here now looking for your approval on the comms plan and social media policy.
All read this, and can I have a motion on the table to accept this policy?
I will move that we accept the communications plan and the social media policy.
It's moved by Councillor Bourne, second by Councillor Matheson Laporte. Any comments, questions? All for it? Against? Motion is carried.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. Moving right along, Volunteer of the Year Award selection. YVETTE, please.
There we go. How's everyone doing? I appreciate everyone's time. All counselors were sent a copy of the nominees that were contributed by the public in April for Volunteer of the Year Award. We had a lot of very deserving nominations from everyone, and I have scores from everyone. Councillor Kerr will not be participating in this one. It was just a misunderstanding of the assignment. And there is one clear winner that came out as I tallied up everyone's scores above the rest with a grand winning score above the rest. So I collected everyone's scores. I had submitted all of the nominees that had their names redacted and their genders redacted in the name of anonymity, although some folks probably could figure out who people were based on the stories that were written about them. But anyway, the winner is Nancy Cronin by a bit of a landslide. So she will be invited to participate in the Volunteer of the Year provincial ceremony that'll be held on September 29th in Halifax. And so at this point, I ask for like that top score that the council approved, she be designated the winning individual. And then I also wanted to let folks know that the remaining nominees, we plan to do some acknowledgement of everyone that was nominated on social media and hopefully via the Engage site eventually, as a manner of both engaging volunteers and telling volunteer stories and encouraging folks, but being able to, with their consent, of course, shed a bit of light on some of the stories that were submitted for nomination over the course of the between now and when the volunteer awards happen. So if I could ask folks to, it would be council that would have to officially pass that the winner is Nancy Cronin, and I can share the spreadsheet with everyone.
Councillor Moore,
I will move that the winner, Nancy Cronin, be selected as our volunteer of the year.
we have a motion on the table. Can I get a seconder? Second by Councillor Donovan. All in favor? Motion against? Motion passed.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations, Nancy. Since we just got started, we're going to skip the recess and go into district highlights. We'll start with Councillor Kerr.
Yes, Warden, construction on our boardwalk on Water Street is underway and they seem to be making great progress in the work so far. I'd also like to put a big thank you out to a local volunteer group led by Rosalie Pino for taking over the planting, maintaining of the flower beds in Baddeck and the garbage removal in Baddeck. That's an amazing job that these people have taken on. Also, a huge thank you to the organizing committee for the Cabot Trail Relay Race, the Baddeck Fire Department, the Lions Club, the church groups, and the dozens and dozens of volunteers that pulled off for near a miracle and get feeding 1,300 people here without a facility. Now, these people are beyond thanking, I'll tell you, they just pulled together unbelievable. Our MP has got to understand how much we need that rink. Like, it's important that he gets the idea that he's the final part of that puzzle to get that funding in place. So this has got to be emphasized to all. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yep.
Thank you. Deputy Warden.
Thank you. I need a street light. I send the information to staff. 102 West Side Middle River, Betty Porter. I just want to send our condolence for our driver from BCT, Hal Oakley, passed away last week. And just for the council, the thoughts and prayers for them. I have, well, I see the grant application will be in your report. Do you know the date when we're going to talk about it for the grants, the community grants?
So staff are looking at it later on this week.
Okay.
And then the recommendations that are coming forward from that will be the June
For the
council
next
session.
one.
Yep.
Next, okay. Yeah, because people is asking, so just give it a deadline for that. And another thing, we were talking about the dog park, like I last council or last committee of the whole. Just to clarify, I think we need to start having a conversation about green space for residents and tourism instead of dog park. So Dan sent us an email to Councilor Bourne and Council Care. So just to make sure, let's go focus more in the residents and tourist space. And then we open to start doing the conversation. We're ready to do that. And what's in social media last week about a dumping in my district, very huge one. Just want to report it's clear now. And the CP went through the same day, so they do a great job. I know there's another dumpings in another districts, and you have something going on for the cooking something about that. But I think communications to the residents. Remember years ago, we do education. So maybe we have to do it again because it's new people in the districts and they don't know what is recyclable. The cultures, sometimes they're different. So we have to re-educate the people or just keep them reminded how it works in Victoria County.
So when we did that in the past, we had an education coordinator, I believe was the title, and it was funded. We can apply for more funding.
Mhm.
However, if we don't get funding, that's not something that we've built into the budget for this year.
Yeah, I know.
So, is it council's wishes that we look for funding on that? Oh, it is in the budget. Oh, sorry. It is in the budget.
Yeah.
So that is something we're working on. Sorry.
I know, it's okay.
Didn't remember that line. So,
Yeah, I think it's important to give some education about the transfer station services,
Yep.
how we recyclable, to, tell them it's not allowed to dumping. And I don't know, when in this case, for example, was called, they came, but we have to think about it to make a little more strict, like no matter you dump, the garbage is there, maybe a fine when we identify exactly what is it. I don't know, we have to think, talk about it, because right now was the clean order, but that's it, right? And they pay for the cleanup, but what about fines? We have to be a little more stricter in that. So if just staff can just help us there as some recommendation with some other agencies.
so, we've reached out to ACAP, and ACAP is going to be coming to council or committee of the whole to talk about some initiatives that we could partner with them on. And I know that District Commander Weiss with the RCMP has talked in the past about how difficult it is to find someone because it's hard to find the person in the act of littering. But areas that are targeted or that there are things on their property,
Exactly.
that one should be easier.
Yeah.
I would think, but we'll have to look into the bylaws. around
Yeah, you
that.
can check that for
Yep.
me. Thank you. And that's it. Thanks.
You, Deputy Ward. Councillor Matheson Laporte.
Thank you, Warden. Just to keep it in the same strain, about dumping and littering. They told me never to highlight them, but I'm going to go against their wishes. And the tireless devotion of two people in my district, they can be seen along the side of the road and in Inverness because they clean the ferry road. So I would like to give a big shout out to Denise and David McKeegan, who have voluntarily picked garbage and recyclables out of the ditches now for years since I've moved back in the last 3 years. And they do it throughout a large portion of the district. And then not only do they take those recyclables and garbage, they get rid of the garbage like it should be disposed of. They then take the recyclables, sort them, take them, get the money back for them, and donate it to the Little Narrows Community Development Association. So big thank you to those guys. I like the fact that we get the money for the community center, but I'd also like if there was a time where they had nothing to pick out of the ditches. So to follow up on what Councillor McLeod is saying, if we can definitely invest more time looking into how we can partner with other people to do anything to try to reduce the littering and rampant dumping that's happening in the entire county, that would be great. So again, Denise and David McKeegan, I'm not apologizing for acknowledging you today. So thank you very much. Everyone appreciates your effort.
Councillor Matheson, would you like a letter written to them to congratulate them?
Actually, I would greatly appreciate that. So I can get the information for you with their address. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councillor Hennick.
Thank you, Warden. District highlights. I just want to say that an update on the Bay St. Lawrence Community Center. They're actually cleaning and painting and will soon be able to fully open. The showers, the washrooms, the laundromat are open 24/7. And the Sun Gym and the Bay Cafe is also open. I'd also like to say we got the new culvert finally put in at the bottom of Cape North Hill. So that big water pool that's been there since a long time has finally gone down and residents are quite happy with that. The John Cabot celebrations will be July 6th this year at Cabot's Landing. Come on out and have a good time. And the North Highlands Community Museum will open on June 3rd. So the washrooms has been open there since May 11th. So if anyone needs to use the facilities there, the washrooms are open. I went to Cabot High for their Youth Summit of 2025. It was a nice turnout to see the kids and participate in some of the mental health initiatives they have put at the high school. And it's nice to see everything starting to open up. So I just wanted to put it out there to the business and that. Hopefully they'll have a busy tourist season this year. And that's it for my district.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Donovan?
Thank you, Warden. Few things. It's nice to see that although the warmer weather's not here yet, summer is trying real hard to come in. Most of the local restaurants in the Ingonish area in my district are now opening and are enjoying full parking lots. And in addition to the existing restaurants, there's also a new small business opened, 285 Takeout. They opened a few weeks back. They're a little bit off the beaten path, but it's well worth the trip. I was there on the day of the grand opening. Fantastic food. So I would recommend that if you're in the area. Let's see, where else are we here? I was in conversation with the folks at the Smoky Recreation Society. Work on the building there is moving forward. The plumbing and electrical is being done. Again, they're still looking, from what I understand, at being open enough, which would be a godsend. It's certainly a well-needed amenity in the area. Yesterday, they had the blessing of the fleet over at the marina by the ski lodge. Again, I'd like to extend my wishes to all of the local fishermen that they have a safe and prosperous season. Also, I'd like to send a thank you out to Public Works because Roper's Bridge is no longer as rough a ride as it was a month ago. They did do some repair work there. Last thing, I would like to know if it's possible to send an invitation to Parks Canada's Field Unit Superintendent to perhaps come into council and discuss what's happening with and around the Celtic Lodge. Also, they are putting a new road into the Celtic, and the existing road was paved. And I know that many of the local walkers who walk their pets in that area would love for that paved area to remain paved, not to have it torn up. So it'd be nice if we could see where that would go, if we could get that to remain there as well. So I would like to have, like I said, I'd like to extend an invitation to the Field Unit Superintendent to come in and discuss the Celtic.
Sure. And what I know about that, I've been talking to Parks over the last little bit as well. And they told me, because council had asked that in the past, to have a meeting with Parks. Their last response to me was that they had to wait until the federal election was over. So I will reach out again to find out the updated timeline, because the election is now over. So they couldn't speak until they knew, or until we had results of that. So.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Bourne. Thank you, Warden. So we don't have any concerns this month, but I do have a couple of things that I would like to highlight within the district. And being on the same topic with cleanup, that's the first thing. So community spring cleanup in District 4 from May 24th to June 8th. The annual District 4 cleanup encourages residents to remove litter from the roadsides, ditches, and public areas to improve community appearances and environmental health. There will be bags and gloves available at the Englishtown Post Office, North River Hall, and the OC Emporium in Indian Brook. Volunteer hours will count towards the Neighbors Helping Neighbors program via the Time Bank. So we're pretty excited about this. We will be sending pictures in and tagged. And they've also come up with a great little prizes will be awarded for the most unique item that they find. So stay tuned. On May 23rd, both Councillor Carr and Councillor Matheson-Lafort, we attended the 15th anniversary of the Alderwood Rest Home. So that was a wonderful celebration to be there and to be part of. On May 17th, Councillor Matheson-Lafort and myself, we attended the Housing Matters Forum in Lewisdale. So that was a very informative session, and we have some great ideas to share when we start our housing committee meetings. And then on May 9th, I attended the Hydro Dam refurbishment information session in Wagmacook. And that was dealing with the project for Wreck Cove site. So it was more or less an update from KMK detailing efforts to ensure environmental protection, conservation, and archaeological safeguarding throughout the project. So that was a great information session to attend. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, District 7. I was invited to the Lion Club's dinner on Saturday evening, which I had to decline because I wasn't feeling well. And it was for one of our own, our former deputy warden, Larry Daphne, for Citizen of the Year. Congratulations, Larry. I wish I was there because I would have roasted you. Congrats to all the participants of the Cabot Trail Relay Race. It was quite an event, a lot of runners this year. I contacted DNR on the thing about garbage and dumping, but there's a property on the Waypoint Road that I've sent pictures to Mr. McNeil about, worried about fires. We get campers in there and there's some fires. I also contacted Mr. Steve McDonald about the White Point sign is down again. And thank you to Anne Marie and Melvina for arranging the Gordy Budge Memorial cleanup again in the Niels Harbor, New Haven area. It was a great success, and thank you to all the volunteers. And also we have an elderly gentleman in Ingonish who's always picking up garbage, and I just like to say thank you to Mr. Best for doing that. I also, with Councillor Hennick, we went to Cabot High for the youth summit health thing. It was really interesting. A lot of artwork, a lot went into it. So thank you to the Cabot High staff for putting that on. And that's it for District 7 today. So we're going to go right into motions and resolutions. So we had the second reading of the Land Use Municipal Planning Standards Bylaw. So I need a motion to accept. It's moved by Councillor Donovan, a seconder. Councillor Matheson-Lafort, all in favor of the Municipal Planning and Standards Bylaw? All in favor? Against? No. Motion carried. It's approved. Finally. Thank you. Okay. It was a long one, yes. Recreation Nova Scotia sponsorship package. You want to speak on this?
Yeah, so we received, council has received an invite to sponsor the Recreation Nova Scotia conference that is happening in Sydney this year, between October 21st and 24th. I believe it's been shared amongst yourselves on that it could be a good sponsorship. You've all received the sponsorship package, and so I'm just wondering if there is any interest or appetite in doing that. And if there is or if there isn't, what level council would be interested in. And if there is, then you should make that as a motion.
Councillor Bourne?
I have a question. Is this something we normally participate in?
Not normally, however, anytime that there is conferences that are happening in either in Victoria County or sometimes on the island, the neighboring municipalities or the municipalities do get a request. So because it's being hosted here this year is the reason I'm expecting that this is something that we would have been requested to.
And just one more question, because I do see in the platinum, the $3,000 line, that it does include a ticket to the awards ceremony. So it might be something that someone from the municipality would like to attend. And that would be my suggestion, would be the platinum one, because it does include a ticket.
Any other recommendations or?
Yeah, just a question. If any of the recreation, well, let's go with Councilor Bourne. If any of the staff in recreation will be attending.
We only have one staff in recreation.
Yeah.
That staff member, so staff members talk to their supervisor about planning on conferences or training. So each staff member is usually allowed to attend one conference per year. So because the recreation staff member is recreation and active living, so shares sort of two roles. I'm not exactly sure if this is something that they would be attending because I have not seen what their performance plan is for that, but it would be open to any staff members.
Yeah, if they're, if we put that, if, we would be like it if some of the staff will go there and be part of that.
So does everybody know what the amounts are for the sponsorship? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to make motion and make a motion for one of the bronze at 500, silver at 1,000, sorry, gold at 2,000 and platinum at 3,000.
It's just in case, if the recreation is free to go, like if you don't have any commitments, we couldn't do the platinum because it's a full conference. So maybe if he can be there, just let us know, if he can, maybe we can just do, that 2,000, but if he's going, we can do the 3. Because it's the ticket, right? There. Yeah. I don't know how you're going to.
No, right now, which conference he's planning on attending.
Okay.
But
regarding of the conference, right? Because he says you guys just one time because it's in Cape Breton.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to go next year.
No, but he could travel to somewhere like each year they decide which conference it is. That's
okay.
It depends on what the agenda is,
yes,
those types of things. I think that what we normally do is if it's in this county, we may go up to the platinum level, but if it's in another county, we may give a lower level of funding.
I know what
because there's several conferences, I think, that are coming this way this fall.
Okay.
So I would expect that this is one of quite a few that will be coming our way. Gotcha.
Excuse me. Personally, I would recommend the silver.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
But I'd like to hear from anybody else, or if anybody has a motion that they want to put forward, or.
Yeah, I think silver is fine.
Want to make the motion? And
I make the motion to sponsor a silver for the conference of recreation, Nova Scotia.
There's a motion on the table. She gave $1,000 sponsorship. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councilor Donovan. All in favor or discussion? All in favor? Yes. Motion carried. We'll be sending $1,000 off for that sponsorship. Next one is the recreation, excuse me, the Wagmacook Summer Games sponsorship. Do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, sure. I don't think the dates have been decided yet on the Nova Scotia Mi'kmaq Summer Games. It was something that we sponsored last year in that area. I believe it was very well attended. The different levels of sponsorship packages, if council is interested, bronze is up to $5,000, silver 5,001 to 15,000, gold 15,001 to 50,000, and platinum sponsor 50,000 plus one. So if we're going to the platinum, we don't have that in the budget. just letting everyone know. So open to your thoughts on that sponsorship, because that was also sent out to everyone to have a look at.
Anyone have a recommendation or a motion or want to talk about? or-
Just question.
Question?
How much we do the last time?
Here,
Or last
we did 5,000.
5,000, yeah. Okay. I said we give the same 5 bronze to 5,000.
My thoughts exactly, Counselor.
5,001, yeah, silver one. 5,001, yeah. You got it. Yeah.
Want to make a motion there, Deputy Warden, or?
Making a motion to sponsor the summer's game with a silver sponsor for 5,001.
There's a motion on the table. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Counselor Hennick. All in favor? Or discussion? No, nobody against? Motion carried. We will be sponsoring silver package at $5,001. Okay.
Sure, they will be very thankful.
Yes. CAO, you have some highlights for us?
I do, yeah. Oh, there was a few others on the recommendations.
Oh, sorry, that's down the bottom. Thank you, Gabby. So we had the addition to the agenda for the recommendations of the water utilities. I read out at the beginning. I need a motion to accept these. Do you want them all separate or all one separate? Okay, we'll do the separate. We'll do the first one. Recommendation to allocate an additional $5,000 in professional fees to initiate a water rate study with the process to begin this fall. Can I get a motion for that?
So move.
So moved by Councillor Kerr. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bourne, all in favor? Motion carried.
Warden, you probably also want a separate motion to engage in a water rate study on top of this
Okay.
$5,000. So that might be another recommendation as
Okay.
well, or as a motion after these. And then
We'll do that after one. Okay. Remind me if I don't, because the mind's not working that well today. Okay, the next one was the recommendation to approve Victoria County Water Utilities operating budget for fiscal 2025-26 with revenues of $1,272,248 and expenses of $1,267,622. Do I have a motion on the table? It's moved by Councillor Matheson Lafort. Do I have a seconder? Seconder by Councillor Bourne. All in favor? Motion carried. I feel like an auctioneer today. Third one, recommendation to approve Victoria County's water utility 5-year capital budget for fiscal 2025-26 of $460,000. Can I get a motion for this? It's moved by the Deputy Wardens. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councillor Bourne. All in favor? Motion carried. And okay. Proceed with a motion to water rate study for Victoria County Water Utility. Can I get a motion for this? It's moved by Councillor Kerr, second by Councillor Bourne. All in favor? Motion carried. Okay. Now we'll go to the CAO highlights.
Sure. Yep. So another one that I didn't have in the report that I sent to you, but we did send a request to MP Battiste. So we're awaiting a response in relation to your comments. But so we did send a request to have a meeting for council with him. The public meeting for the North Shore Fire Department happened on May 14th. And the purchase and sale of the land is going forward and is being signed for the transfer of the subdivided piece of the old school property on the North Shore. So that's great. Our Ingonish survey, it's now closed. We probably have an update on the numbers that we've received. If anyone still had a survey and wanted to send it in, we would take their responses as well. So we're encouraging anyone, if they haven't sent it in, we would take their responses for the proposed path of the sewer treatment plant collection line. We have received funding from the FCM on a climate risk assessment to do a flood risk assessment plan. This was something that was a motion put forward back in the previous council to apply for this. And we received $70,000 and work is going to start on this flood risk map for our county. It's in conjunction with a few other municipalities around the island. And we'll be working with a consulting group who put the application in on our behalf. So that's great. That will also help with the Coastal Protection Act that we also are planned and bylaw that we have to put in place. I'm not sure if you were all aware, the NSFM has received funding for a climate action or for a coastal protection engagement session to help council with writing a bylaw that we have to pass for the county as well. So they're going to be coming up with templates and community engagement on behalf of municipalities as well. As Councillor Hennick mentioned, at the last tax sale, we did purchase the Northern Victoria Community Association, the community hall. It is a redeemable property, so we will be waiting for next steps for the redemption period. And then after that, we will be reaching out to the community on potential next steps. As council discussed, there are some ideas that we have, but we also would like to know what is in the best interest of the community. To let everyone know, tomorrow, May 27th, the front counter downstairs here is going to be closed for a software upgrade. We might need a second day. We're just unsure at this point how it's going to go. The best laid plans are always best laid. And if the software upgrade doesn't allow us to open the computers or have computers running, we may have to close them for an additional day, but we will keep that updated on the website and through Facebook posts. With the potential postal strike, we will be working on some communications about getting tax bills out, just so everyone knows tax bills still are due on the due date. We are planning on doing them in early June, which is the earliest we've ever done. Hopefully they do not get stuck somewhere in the postal strike or in the potential postal strike. However, tax bills will go out, and even if residents did not receive them, they are still due by the due date. As Councillor McLeod had asked, we are doing the grant application review is happening this week, and we'll be coming forward to council in at our next council session in June to discuss the recommendations on behalf of what the committee has come up with. A few things that are going on in public works. The tower in Ingonish is being recoded in the very near future. The community will be fed from the park while this work is being completed. We expect that it should take a short period of time, and we'll be back onto the tower after the coding has been done. Also to let people know, in the tourism department, the STGI, the Sustainable Tourism Growth Initiative, this has been launched and is being administered through the Cape Breton Partnership. We're pretty excited about this. This is a program that's available to businesses and organizations in Victoria County looking to grow or improve a tourism experience, and we'll give them access to up to $10,000 in funding. A brief project or a project brief and link for the project will be sent out when it's live, and I think that that is happening sooner rather than later, but it'll be on our website, and it will also be on Cape Breton Partnerships website. So we encourage businesses to look for that if they have some cool ideas. In recreation, we're also going to be updating the equipment loan program details and our active games and equipment that is available. I've heard from staff who I think have tried out a few of the games that we have on hand, and I think they're kind of fun. So we encourage groups, if anyone needs anything or is interested in anything, to get in touch with our recreation department. In community development, our wayfinding and signage meeting facilitations happened. There was 8 sessions in communities over 2 weeks. Our staff did a great job on those, putting them together and going out, reaching out to the communities. There was over 2 weeks to gather input and feedback on community concerns with signage. There's currently a survey for feedback open for another week, which is also on our website. So anyone who has any thoughts on signage within the municipality, please, we encourage you to sign up and complete the survey. I'm not sure if you all know, but you may know, we have a loaner stage that we have housed within the municipality. It's a stage that's available for community organizations if they have anything going on. If a not-for-profit group requires a stage for any event that they are hosting this summer, please contact YVETTE to check its availability. We think that it's easy to put together, and we get lots of usage and lots of requests. So please check for availability for that, for anything that's going out. In our communications department, our newsletter went out on May 20th. So it's available digitally, but it's also been mailed out to all residents. Also in communications, as Natasha had noted, our Engage website is ready to be launched and will be launched in the next upcoming couple of weeks. I also want to congratulate the Cabot Trail Relay Race. Well done to all the volunteers and groups that take part in it. I witnessed it firsthand, and what a fun event, and brings lots of people to all kinds of communities around the county. So we're very proud, and congratulations to everyone on that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Correspondence, is there any? Oh, committee reports, sorry.
Just to
Deputy
let
Warden.
yeah, thank you. Just to let you know, Wednesday we have a VCT meeting in the morning, virtual. I send the information for your review. Thanks.
No, Wednesday. And that's it for committee reports. Okay, correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
What's that? Yeah, it's been light on correspondence lately, but anything that we've received, we have sent out to you, and it's been in your council. It's also in your council package.
We have an in-camera session, so, oh.
I'd like to make a motion to take $1,200 out of my budget in order to give it to the Baddeck Public Library Society.
A motion on the floor. Do I get a seconder, please? Second by Councillor Matheson-Lafort. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor, because I'm supposed to put something forward too. $300 to the Lions Club. I just wanted to make sure that they know that it's coming in case it gets stuck in the mail, but it's coming for their annual golf tournament fundraiser. Okay, and in camera, can I get a motion to go in camera, please? Moved by Councillor Donovan. Second by Councillor Bourne. In camera. So anybody that doesn't need to be here, please vacate. Thank you.